Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. It's time for the SmackDown spoilers. SmackDown spoilers for September 12th, 2014, this coming Friday, which would actually be tomorrow. Strangely, my notes for this show, what I found, nothing but matches. I didn't see one backstage segment in the notes. Now, either they just didn't include the backstage segments or anything that wasn't a match. I don't know, though. Either way, let's just get right in. To start the show, we get an 8-man tag match. The Usos, Mark Henry, and The Big Show defeat Stardust and Goldust, Harper and Rowan. So yeah. After that, Bo Dallas defeats Justin Gabriel. And Jack Swagger was at ringside taunting Bo during the match. And Bo won, of course, with the Bo Dog. After that, we got Paige versus Summer Rae in a non-title match. Layla was at ringside, of course, and AJ was on commentary. And Paige wins using AJ's Black Widow on Summer. So, yeah. After that, Mark Henry defeats Rusev in the International Arm Wrestling Competition. And afterwards, Rusev asks for a rematch, and he gets it. And he wins when Lana throws powder in Henry's face. So, yeah. There's a fucking throwaway segment. You know what? Actually, I'll count that as a not a backstage segment, but something other than wrestling, because it's not really a match. Oh well, who cares? Up next, Dolph Ziggler and R-Truth defeat The Miz and Damian Sandow in what was described as a fun tag team match. And then in the main event, Chris Jericho and Roman Reigns defeat Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in another fun tag team match. Jericho blocked a DDT attempt by Orton. I'm not sure if he means the hung DDT or I don't know. But it says Jericho blocked a DDT and rolled Orton up for the win. Jericho and Reigns celebrate to end the show. And so that's the end of the SmackDown spoilers. And of course, as always, my notes came from NoDQ.com. Now, some other news. Over the week, it came out that former WWE and WCW wrestler Sean O'Haire has died. And I believe it said he was only 43. And I believe I had heard a while back that he was trying like mixed martial arts type of stuff. Yeah. Now, what's strange about this is from the reports that I was able to see, this looks like a suicide because the police report, I guess it's the official police report, says that they found him in his bedroom with a rope tied around his neck, and the other side of the rope was tied to the leg of his bed. So, yeah. So yeah, that's very sad because I remember Sean O'Haire was actually a fairly good wrestler. Jeez, though. So many people dying lately. It's just really messed up. Moving on to a little bit more upbeat news, I guess. News on Daniel Bryan possibly returning sometime soon. I think I previously reported that there was Bryan thought he was going to have to go in for another surgery, and that would mean he'd be out for another 6 months or even longer. But apparently that's not the case. He does not need another surgery, and he should be able to return within about 3 months. So there was also something that said he might be returning by the Survivor Series pay-per-view. We'll have to wait and see about that. So yeah, that's definitely nice to hear that Bryan should hopefully be coming back in the near future. Then we have a little bit of news from the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view that was tonight, which was Thursday. I think I mentioned this before, but Kenta was supposed to make an appearance. He wasn't actually supposed to wrestle anybody, but he was just supposed to make an appearance. Well, that happened. There wasn't anything different about that, although I think the original report said that he was supposed to be introduced by Ric Flair, but apparently something came up with Flair and he wasn't able to make it, and so Kenta was introduced instead by William Regal, who is the new general manager of NXT. So yeah, Kenta comes out and he made cut a promo talking about being really happy to be in NXT and all these things and stuff, and since it's the fucking WWE, they have to screw something up. Kenta says he's changing his name. This is going to be his WWE name. And he's doing this as a tribute to one of his heroes. He says his name will be Hideo Itami. Now, I have no idea who this hero is that this name is referenced to. Only person I can think of is Hideo Kojima, who is the main guy at, the Metal Gear Solid games. I don't know. Either way. So yes, he's changed his name. And there was another report somewhere that said he will be having his debut match next week on NXT. So that should be interesting. I think I may start watching NXT to at least get some good wrestling, you know. That actually feeds into my last thing that I'm going to get to, but let me get through the other things first. Next up on the list, there was another report that said Dean Ambrose is scheduled to make his return on the September 22nd episode of Raw, which will be in Memphis, Tennessee. This is the episode of Raw that will take place the night after the Night of Champions pay-per-view. So, yeah. And today's only the 11th, so we still got like another week or two before this return for Ambrose and the pay-per-view, pretty much. But yeah, so that should be interesting. Hopefully Ambrose comes back. Curious to see how they're going to explain him returning, considering he was murdered live on TV by Rollins and Kane. You don't fucking curb stomp a guy's head through cinder blocks and have him come out A-OK. Okay? Like, if anything, Ambrose should come back wearing like that hound mask thing that I showed you. He should come back with that, and like, because he used to do this during the Shield entrance. He would have the mask on and he'd be wearing like a hoodie, and he'd have the hood up over his head. He'd come back almost looking like a Sith Lord. That would be awesome. Have him come back and he'd almost kind of look like the Shredder from the Ninja Turtles, where he pulls down the mask and he's got this scar on his face from the fucking cinder blocks or something. I don't know. Be interesting, though. A lot more interesting than half of the shit that they come up with lately. Alright. And the final note I have here before I get to my other note that I was going to doing. There's a report that, as you will recall from my last couple Raw videos, Adam Rose's bunny guy, the guy in the bunny suit, it's been reported that they are thinking of revealing the bunny guy to be Darren Young, which would make complete sense because, as I said in my Raw video, or at least I think I said this in my Raw video, you could see the guy's hands, and he appeared to have a darker skin color, like a black guy. So Darren Young is black, so that would fit. So that it probably was him in the bunny suit for Raw. Didn't know he knew how to do a super kick, but I mean, it's not like it's hard. Not only that, but him attacking Titus O'Neil would make perfect sense, as the two of them used to be the primetime players, and Titus turned heel by turning on Darren Young because he was sick of losing or whatever the fuck. So he broke up the team and went off and turned heel, and we haven't hardly seen Darren Young since. I don't know if he got injured or something. Don't really care, but either way. So yeah, that's my final little bit of news items from the WWE world. And now for the final note that I mentioned before. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I'm very seriously thinking about either completely just ending the Wrestling Rant, or at least I'm just going to stop watching Raw, and hence no more Raw reviews. And I probably won't be doing SmackDown either, because, I mean, seriously, you guys can look up the same notes that I found on NoDQ.com. It really wouldn't be that hard. So I really just feel like the show Raw is just a waste of time anymore. Even if Ambrose comes back on September 22nd, even if Daniel Bryan comes back in a couple of months, it still won't matter because the show will still suck, even with those guys. Hell, CM Punk could come back and it wouldn't change anything. The WWE fucking sucks right now, and I'm sick of wasting my time with it. The only thing I would be willing to do would be NXT, because at least there it seems like you get some decent storylines with some good matches, some good wrestling, and it's not so fucking lousy like it is on Raw. And I mean, NXT's only an hour show, so not wasting that much time. So But yeah, I'm very seriously thinking about just not doing the Raw or SmackDown videos anymore. I don't even want to watch Raw anymore. I just feel like it's a waste of time. The WWE just sucks. They keep wasting everybody's time. Honestly, I would, recommend that everybody stop watching the WWE. Because until they start losing a serious amount of ratings, until they start losing a serious amount of money from, loss of ticket sales, loss of merchandise sales, until they start losing that money in those TV ratings and those pay-per-view buys, until they start losing all that stuff, they're not going to change. They're not. They're comfortable with what they're getting right now. So as long as they hover around the same level, they ain't going to change the product. It's not going to get any better until they lose a significant portion of their audience or their money. So, if you feel the same way I do about the product right now, you might as well just stop watching. Stop wasting your time. Go do something else. There's gotta be something else you can do with your time. I mean, shit, at this point, just about anything would be a better use of your time. But yeah, I'm very seriously thinking about that. I'm not sure yet. I was already thinking that Night of Champions would be the last thing I would do. And then after that, I would just be done and maybe do NXT, and maybe I'll switch over and start doing TNA. Because, I don't know. Either way. Didn't really intend on ending on such a sour note. But anyways, I think that's going to be the end of this episode of the Wrestling Rant, the SmackDown spoilers for September 12th, 2014. I could not find the location, the city that the show was taped in. Yeah. So either way, thank you for watching, and please join us next time, which will probably be Raw on Monday, because we still got to get through another week or two worth of Raw and SmackDown just to get to the pay-per-view, the Night of Champions pay-per-view. So yeah, like I said, join us Monday for Raw, and we will see you then.